Dealing with disappointment effectively. There is this joke about someone who says, I ordered a DVD on dealing with disappointment, but when the mail came in, I discovered that the box was empty. Disappointments like this are a part of life, and that's because they are one of the outcomes of an integral part of living, which you cannot ignore, and that's expectations. We become disappointed when our expectations are not met. Think about it. Or things didn't turn out the way we expected. But can you then say you would live without expectations? A life without expectations is equal to a life without hope, because expectation has its root in hope. You expect something because you actually believe it could happen, not so? So you have a hope in the possibility. There are a few quotes about happiness in relationship and marriage being in eliminating expectations, but as good as that sounds, it is not 100% possible. Limit your expectations as best as you can, but also develop your muscles for dealing with failed expectations. And the latter is our focus in this video. Without further ado, let's dive in. If you're new here, like, subscribe, and share. Paradigm shift is the word you can use for the art of dissuading your attention from what seems to have gone wrong or is going wrong, so you can focus on something else, especially the unexpected good in the situation. Stephen Covey, in his bestseller, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, shares an experience of his paradigm shift. And in his own words, I remember a mini paradigm shift I experienced one Sunday morning on a subway in New York. People were sitting quietly, some reading newspapers, some lost in thought, some resting with their eyes closed. It was a calm, peaceful scene. Then suddenly, a man and his children entered the subway car. The children were so loud and rambunctious that instantly the whole climate changed. The man sat down next to me and closed his eyes, apparently oblivious to the situation. The children were yelling back and forth, throwing things and even grabbing people's papers. It was very disturbing. And yet, the man sitting next to me did nothing. It was difficult not to feel irritated. I could not believe that he could be so insensitive to let his children run wild like that and do nothing about it, taking no responsibility at all. It was easy to see that everyone else on the subway felt irritated too. So finally, with what I felt was unusual patience and restraint, I turned to him and said, "Sir, your children are really disturbing a lot of people. Wonder if you couldn't control them a little more?" The man lifted his gaze as if to come to a consciousness of the situation for the first time and said softly, "Oh, you're right. I guess I should do something about it. We just came from the hospital where their mother died about an hour ago. I don't know what to think, and I guess they don't know how to handle it either." Can you imagine what I felt at that moment? My paradigm shifted. Suddenly, I saw things differently. I felt differently. I behaved differently. My irritation vanished. I didn't have to worry about controlling my attitude or my behavior. My heart was filled with the man's pain. Feelings of sympathy and compassion flowed freely. "Your wife just died. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you tell me more about it? What can I do to help?" Everything changed in an instant. That story is a typical example of paradigm shift, and if you're watching this now, there is a high chance that you may have experienced such in your life. A moment where your perspective changes completely when you come into new understanding of new information. Many people experience a similar fundamental shift in thinking when they are faced with life-threatening crisis and suddenly see their priorities in a totally different light. So a good question to often ask yourself after a disappointment is, if it were the end of the world or the end of your life, would that be something you'll be worrying about? 99% of the time, the answer will be no. If something doesn't threaten your life directly, then most often than not, it's not worth risking a cardiac arrest for. Life-threatening crises have its way of helping us clarify our priorities. But you won't always be in front of such a crisis, and neither do I wish that for you. But you can intentionally simulate this to help you change your perspective, see things in a new light, so that you can better appreciate even the good that is in the situation, and helping you deal with the disappointment more effectively. Yes, you may have lost your job, but at least your still work valid. There are many people who have, through one experience or an accident, been invalid. If you can change your perspective to see the silver lining in the cloud, then you can better appreciate your life and deal with the disappointment. Yes, you didn't get that opportunity, but who knows what the opportunity could have cost you in return. Yes, that relationship broke down, but at least now you can look forward to the prospect of a brighter and more joyous experience in relationship with all the new experience and wisdom that you've acquired. Yes, this or that might have happened, but at least if you look closely, you would always see something good about it. Your goal from today is to try, no matter how difficult, to shift your paradigm about the things so that you can see what good is in the situation. I remember the story of this lady who always committed herself to see a good in every situation. For example, if she fell down the stairs while going down to do her laundry, she'll wake up and instead of cursing at the stairs or cursing at her shoes, she's going to say something like, "Oh, I went down those stairs quicker today." And somehow there is some humor that comes out of the situation that seemingly looks like a disappointment. And that way you can laugh at your life. Seriously, life is too short for you and I to be uptight about these things. In the end, what do you get? You're working on your attitude. So long as you maintain a positive attitude, then it doesn't matter what life throws at you. It doesn't matter how many disappointments life throws at you. You'll be able to look at them, laugh at them, look for the good in the situation, change your perspective, and perceive things differently. Stop focusing on what didn't go right. Start looking at the good in the whole situation. Look for the opportunity in the crisis. Who knows what you could have lost if things went the way you wanted? Many times, disappointments are just deliverances or protections in disguise. You may be mad that you missed the bus, but you have no idea what could have happened to that bus had it been you boarded it. But hey, one more thing. I've given you some examples, but it doesn't always mean that because you missed an opportunity, it means that if you had gotten it, maybe something bad or something worse could have happened. Sometimes in life, we lose opportunities like that, and if we had gotten them, nothing negative would have happened in return. So you can say you just lost the opportunity and there's nothing you can do about it. Fine. Getting mad at the situation, getting hung up, losing your joy and your peace wouldn't change anything. So you might as well start looking for the fun in the situation, start looking for the good in the situation, start looking for the silver lining in the cloud. So what disappointment have you experienced lately? You need to sit down and take an account of the good that it has brought into your life, and you'll be amazed at what you see. You may be mad that you lost a job which probably was overworking you and pushing you to the brink of losing your family. And then ask yourself the crisis question. If this were your last day on earth, what will you be worrying about? The greater thing that opportunity would have cost you, or losing the opportunity itself? Remember, things aren't always as bad as they seem. So relax, have fun, and enjoy your ride on earth. That's our time in this video. I'd like to know what you think about this in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new here. Remember, you can support the channel to help us create more inspiring videos like this by visiting our Patreon page, link in the video description below. And I just want to say a big shout out to all our Patreons who support us and help us do what we do. You guys are just amazing. I am Bodas Djoumessi from Wisdom for Dominion, where we are passionate about seeing you lead effectively. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in our next video.